So good afternoon to all of you. So in the previous session, we discussed or we started that the second unit, magnetic circuit. And in that we discussed that the few basic concepts. It means that what is mean by magnet, what is mean by the magnetism, what is the pole of the magnet, what is mean by the pole strength. Is it right? Then we discussed the Coulomb's law, and Coulomb's law, we know that he had given that the two conclusion, one is the like pole repel one another and that unlike pole attract each other. And in the second law, he says that the force exists between the two pole, which is directly proportional to the product of their pole strength, and that inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. And based on that, we got that the formula F is equal to K m1 m2 upon d square. But as we know that the two magnetic poles having a no physical contact, then also these two poles will experience a force, either attraction or repulsion. It means that this force is also depends upon the surrounding medium, and the K is the medium constant, and its value is 1 upon 4 pi mu 0 mu r, where mu 0 we call it absolute permeability and mu r we call it relative permeability. Okay. And now the next concept, next term of in the magnetic circuit is the magnetic field. It's the magnetic region. Is it right? Suppose we consider that, just assume that, let me try to draw that one diagram so that your concept will be clear. Suppose just assume that here is a one magnet. When I say that it's a magnet, definitely it has its a N pole and the S pole. And if I consider that one small iron piece, and if this small iron piece, if it is kept far away from this magnet, this is the iron piece. Is it right? If I can assume that this iron piece, if it is kept far away from that particular magnet, is the force exist on that iron force or that iron piece? Yes or no?
फार अवे असल्यामुळे फोर्स एक्झिस्ट होणार नाही जास्त.
Absolutely correct. Because the distance is too long. That's why no forces exist on that. The small iron piece is there. But if I assume that this small iron piece, it placed near to the magnet, now what happened? Definitely the certain forces exist. Is it right? It means that when you bring this small iron piece near to this magnet, then you will observe that from the some point the force is start to exert. And when again if you move closer and closer to that magnet, then you will observe that a large value of a force is exist on the small pieces there. Now my point is that from which point you will observe or you will experience the force is exerted on that small iron piece, from that point onwards, or I say that this is the nothing but the area within which this small iron piece will experience a force, and this area around that magnet we call it a magnetic field. The area around the magnet within which magnetic material or another magnet will experience a force. मग तो attraction असेल, मग तो repulsion असेल, फक्त force experience होणं expected आहे. So that particular area around that magnet, that we call it a magnetic field or magnetic region. And this magnetic field and the magnetic region is depends upon that magnet only. If the magnet is very strong, definitely that strong magnet having the large area around it. If the magnet is weak, then definitely it will have that the small area around it. It is depends upon the capacity of that magnet, the strength of that magnet is there. Is it that clear? Now you can try to read that the concept so that your definition, so that your part will be clear here. So see that this is the magnet, and around that magnet, that small iron pieces are attracted towards the end of that magnet is there. You can see in that the diagram. So you can read that the definition. This is the definition of a magnetic field, or we call it a magnetic region. The region around the magnet, कारण ती मॅग्नेटिक फील्ड आहे ती मॅग्नेटच्या भोवतीच असणार आहे. द रिजन अराउंड द मॅग्नेट within which the force of attraction or repulsion is experienced by other magnet or magnetic material is called magnetic field. मग आता जर तुम्ही असं अज्यूम केला की हा एक मॅग्नेट आहे, बरोबर आहे, आणि हा एक काय करूया आपण की स्मॉल आयर्न पीस आहे. मग ज्यावेळेस हा स्मॉल आयर्न पीस मॅग्नेटिक रिजन मध्ये असेल, मॅग्नेटिक फील्ड मध्ये असेल, definitely the force is there. Is it right? You can experience that force, but you can't see these things because the magnetic field is invisible. Magnetic field is invisible, but it is there. Because experimentally, if you do that experiment, you will observe the thing, you can experience the force, but is it not visible is there. Get it my point? So if I want to draw this magnetic region around the magnet diagrammatically, how I can draw it? If we want to draw the magnetic region around the magnet, how I can draw it? Because the thing is invisible. Then also if I want to draw it, we can draw diagrammatically with a dotted line, and hence that the new concept it comes into the picture, we call it a magnetic lines of force. With the help of these magnetic lines of force, we can show the imaginary magnetic field. Why I say that imaginary? Because it is not visible. Get it my point? But we can experience it. That's why the concept it comes into the picture, we call it a magnetic lines of force. If you see that the previous diagram also, you will observe that some little bit lines with the help of the small pieces of iron. Actually these are nothing but that experiment, and through that experiment म्हणजे काय केलेलं आहे बघा, एक प्लेन पेपर घेतलेला आहे, एका प्लेन पेपरवरती एक बार मॅग्नेट ठेवला, आणि प्लेन पेपरच्या दुसऱ्या एका साईडला बार मॅग्नेट आणि दुसऱ्या साईडला एकदम स्मॉल आयर्न फिलिंग्स मीन्स स्मॉल पार्टिकल्स ठेवलेले आहेत. And when these small iron pieces it comes in contact with the bar, then it is observed that such types of shape on that the plain paper is there, and based on that the magnetic lines of force, that concept it comes, and according to that the few rules, few things are decided about that the magnetic lines of force is there. So let's we try to discuss about the magnetic lines of force. Now here the magnetic lines of force are shown with the solid lines, but let me clear that the magnetic lines of force are always shown with the dotted lines. Why with the dotted line? Because this is the imaginary concept, because these magnetic lines of force will represent the magnetic region around that magnet is there. Get it my point? But this is the imaginary lines. And what is the definition for that? The magnetic lines of force is an imaginary line representing the direction of a magnetic field. हे मॅग्नेटिक लाइन्स ऑफ फोर्स काय दाखवणार आहे? तुम्हाला मॅग्नेटिक रिजन दाखवणार आहे, मॅग्नेटिक फील्ड दाखवणार आहे, त्याची डायरेक्शन दाखवणार आहे. And for that some rules or some things are observed, and these things are magnetic lines of force are the lines that depict means draw करणे, that depict the magnetic force that exists in the surrounding of the magnet. म्हणजे मॅग्नेटिक लाईन्स ऑफ फोर्स हा मॅग्नेटिक फील्ड ची डायरेक्शन डिसाइड करण्यासाठी यूज केलेला कॉन्सेप्ट. Get it my point? So what are the things observed about the magnetic lines of force? We call it the properties of a magnetic lines of force. So the first property is that magnetic lines of force emerged, म्हणजे स्टार्ट करतात त्यांची जर्नी, emerged from north pole and the merge at the south pole. Merge means end. It means that simply if I want to say the magnetic lines of force are always originating from N pole and terminating at S pole is there. This is the first rule is that. Now you can see that diagram. If you see that here, this is the magnetic region. These are the magnetic lines are always originated from N pole of the magnet and they terminated at that S pole. Means can we say that the magnetic lines of force is also take a always closed curve path? Of course, yes, because they always originated at N pole and terminated at S pole. जसं की आपण इलेक्ट्रिक सर्किट्स मध्ये करंटच्या बाबतीमध्ये बोलत होतो. The current is always starts its journey from positive terminal and end at the negative terminal. आता हे बार मॅग्नेट म्हणजे एक सोर्स घ्या, त्यातला N पोल म्हणजे पॉझिटिव्ह टर्मिनल घ्या, S पोल म्हणजे निगेटिव्ह टर्मिनल घ्या, and the current is nothing but these magnetic lines. You can compare. These are the similarities between that electric circuit and that magnetic circuit. Is it that clear? So the first property of that magnetic lines of force is what? It's always originating from N pole and the terminating at S pole is there. So this arrow is indicates the direction of magnetic lines of force. The second thing is that as the distance between the poles increases, the density of magnetic lines decreases is there. Now, what is the meaning here? Suppose here I consider this is a one bar magnet. It's a N pole and the south pole. We say that when that magnet, we assume definitely it has its one particular magnetic region. And the region is like that. The magnetic lines of force near to the magnets are very strong. Near to the magnets are very strong, but as we move away from the pole of that magnet, these magnetic lines of force are becomes weaker and weaker. It means that the density of this magnetic lines of force will be decreases as we move away from that pole of that magnet is there. Is it that clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So if you see that, you can observe here at the end of that bar magnet, the density of the magnetic lines of force is more. And as we move away from that pole of that magnet, the density, it goes on decreasing. This is the second point. Okay. Let's go to the third property. The direction of a field means lines inside the magnet is from south pole to north pole. Outside the magnet डायरेक्शन आपण पहिल्या पॉइंट मध्ये बघितली. कोणता पॉइंट बघितला आपण? आउटसाइड द मॅग्नेट द लाइन्स ऑफ फोर्स आर ऑलवेज ओरिजिनेटेड फ्रॉम N pole and terminated at S pole. But what about that the inside? Because we say that the magnetic lines of force always take the closed path. It means that inside they are flowing from S pole to north pole. See the diagram. If you consider inside the magnet, inside, then the magnetic lines of force are moved from S pole to N pole, but outside we always say that they are always originating from N pole and the terminating at that S pole is there. This is the third property of a magnetic lines of force is there. Okay. Fourth property, magnetic lines of force do not intersect with each other. As we say that the magnetic lines of force are used to represent imaginary magnetic field, But the one thing it is observed that these magnetic lines of force are never intersect to each other. It means that every magnetic lines of force has its a unique path. They will not intersect to one another is there. They will not cross one another. We can say like that. This is the fourth property of a magnetic lines of force is there. The strength of the magnetic lines is the same throughout and is proportional to how close are the lines. As I rightly mentioned that magnetic lines of force near to the magnets are very strong. And as we move away from it, definitely its strength is goes on decreasing. Its density is goes on decreasing. This is the point here. Get it my point? But if you consider that, suppose this is a one bar magnet, this is N pole, this is S pole, and let me try to represent only one magnetic lines of force. It is always originating from N pole and terminating at S pole is that. Is it right? If you consider any point on this line, suppose you can consider that this is point A, this is point B, definitely the force acting on the point A and B by the magnet is the same, because these are the points on only one magnetic lines of force. But if you take it another one magnetic lines of force, here I can consider another one magnetic lines of force, and if I consider that one point on that second magnetic poles, what you can say, what is your observation? So definitely the force acting on the point A is greater than the force acting on the point P. Why? Because point A is closer to that magnet as compared to that point P. Get it my point? And as we move away from that magnet, definitely this force is goes on decreasing. That's why we say that the density of magnetic lines of force near to the magnet is very strong, and as we move away from that magnet, its density or its force acting on force will be decreases. Is that this is the point here? Get it my point? Now, if you go to that the next properties, then you can see that the magnetic lines of force always take the least reluctance path. And the reluctance means what I say that? Opposition. The magnetic lines in the magnetic actually moving in the magnetic circuit. Am I right? Movable part is what? Magnetic lines of force. And in the DC circuit, we call it a current. It means that current is analogous to the magnetic lines of force. If you try to compare that electric and the magnetic circuit is it right? Now, what is the opposing part to the current flowing in the DC, electric circuit? We call it a resistance. This is the opposing part to the flow of current. Similarly, we know that current always take least resistance path. Is it right? And the shortest path. Similar properties of that magnetic lines of force, the magnetic lines of force always take the least opposition path. But in terms of resistance, that opposition in the magnetic circuit is called as reluctance. Definitely that term also comes in the next discussion is there. But you should know that this is also the property is there. It means that, can I say that resistance is analogous to the reluctance is there if you try to compare it. Current is analogous to the magnetic lines of force if you try to compare it. Get it my point? So this is the sixth one property of that magnetic lines of force. And the seventh one property is that the parallel lines of force acting in one direction repel one another. It means that suppose I consider that this is a magnetic lines of force in this direction, and that another one magnetic lines of force with parallel and but in the same direction, then it is observed that there is a repulsion in between these two parallel lines acting in one direction. This is the seventh one property that, and this one property is very important to understand the next concept is that in one of the concept, this property we will try to use it. So you please try to remember that if the magnetic lines of force are parallel to one another and acting in a one direction, actually we know that they never cross each other. This is the one of the properties. So if they are parallel to one another, they always try to have the repulsion in between them is there. So these are the 7 properties of the magnetic lines of force is there. Is it that clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now see that this next term is nothing but the magnetic flux, and it can be denoted by phi. This letter we can use to denote that the magnetic flux is there. So the magnetic flux means what? If you consider a one magnet and it's a magnetic region, in the particular magnetic region, definitely the certain number of magnetic lines of forces are present. Certain value, I say that. If you consider a magnetic region, suppose this is a box, this is a magnetic region, this is a magnet. So definitely in that magnetic region, the certain magnetic lines of forces are present. So the total number of magnetic lines of force in the magnetic field, that is called as a magnetic flux. It means that the magnetic lines of force is also called as a magnetic flux. So the definition is like that: the total number of lines of force in any particular magnetic field is called the magnetic flux. Number of lines of force in a magnetic region, that is called as the magnetic flux. The unit is Weber. It can be measured in terms of Weber. This short form for that Weber, it can be capital W, small p. And experimentally, they have provided that the one value, 1 Weber flux is equal to 10 raised to 8 lines of force. So sometimes these things will be asked for MCQ type of a question. So you have to remember the things here. Okay, the 1 Weber flux. Flux is nothing but the total number of lines of force in a magnetic region, and the 1 Weber flux, we call it's a 10 raised to 8 lines of force is there. Okay, so please try to remember these things. This is the next terms of the magnetic circuit is there. Then after that, one more terms we have to note it down, that is nothing but the magnetic flux density. Now here, if you try to have just a focus on this word, what is that word? Density. Now the density means what? Most of the times while speaking, we can also use this word density. If you try to speak in English, म्हणजे जर एखाद्या पॉइंट वरती किंवा एखाद्या जागेवरती जर जास्त माणसं एकत्र जमा झाली असतील, तर आपण काय काय वेळेस बोलताना पण इंग्लिशमध्ये बोलताना आपण म्हणू शकतो की दॅट व्हेरी हाय डेन्सिटी इज दॅट. बरोबर आहे. मग डेन्सिटी म्हणजे काय, की एका पर्टिक्युलर लोकेशनला किती लोक जमा झालेले आहेत त्याच्यावरून आपण त्याला डेन्सिटी म्हणतो. तसाच कन्सेप्ट, त्याच रिलेटेड कन्सेप्ट मॅग्नेटिक सर्किट मध्ये पण आहे, अँड दॅट इज कॉल्ड एज अ मॅग्नेटिक फ्लक्स डेन्सिटी. आता हा माणसाशी रिलेटेड नाहीये, हा कशाशी रिलेटेड आहे? मॅग्नेटिक फ्लक्सशी रिलेटेड आहे. आणि मॅग्नेटिक फ्लक्स म्हणजे काय? मॅग्नेटिक लाईन्स ऑफ फोर्स. मग जर एक पर्टिक्युलर मॅग्नेटिक रिजन मधला एक पर्टिक्युलर एरिया घेतला, तर त्या एरियामधून किती फ्लक्स फ्लो होतोय, that is called as a flux density of that point. मग तो कुठला पॉइंट घेतलाय त्याच्यावरती डिपेंड आहे. जर तो मॅग्नेटच्या जवळचा पॉइंट असेल तर डेफिनेटली जास्त मॅग्नेटिक लाईन्स ऑफ फोर्स विल पासिंग थ्रू दॅट पर्टिक्युलर एरिया, सो वी से दॅट द फ्लक्स डेन्सिटी इज मोर. आणि जर मॅग्नेट पासूनचा जर थोडासा लांबचा जर पॉइंट घेतला किंवा एरिया घेतला, तर डेफिनेटली द स्मॉल नंबर ऑफ मॅग्नेटिक लाईन्स ऑफ फोर्स विल पास थ्रू दॅट एरिया, so that we say that the flux density is very less. But what is mean by the flux density? Try to read it. The magnetic flux density is the flux per unit area at right angle to that magnetic flux is that. Means if you consider that the one plane, one area which is right angle to that magnetic lines of force, then how many flux can pass through that plane or area, that is called as a flux density at that point is there. So that based on that definition, the mathematical formula, very important formula is here. This flux density, it is denoted by B, capital B, which is equal to flux per unit area. That is called as the density. And it is also called as a magnetic flux induction also. Another one name is there. The B, or the flux density B, is also called as an induction. Please try to remember that. Another one name is there. The formula is B is equal to phi upon A. What is the unit of flux? The unit of flux is a Weber. And what is the unit of area? That is nothing but the meter square. So that the unit of the flux density is Weber per meter square, but the SI unit of this flux density is a Tesla. We can represent with the capital T. So we can write here 1 Tesla is equal to 1 Weber per meter square. But try to read that definition once again. The definition is the magnetic flux density. Whenever that flux density it comes, then definitely this flux density is related to the two things. One is the flux and second one is the area. Is it right? So that remember the definition, the flux density is the flux per unit area at right angle to that magnetic lines of force. When the plane of a coil, where we consider if it is right angle to that magnetic lines of force, that time we say that the maximum flux can pass through that plane. But somebody might be thinking like that, if the plane of this area, if it is not right angle to that, then what happens? Then see that what happens here. The flux density is a measure of a field concentration, that is amount of flux in each square meter of that field. Is it right? Suppose we consider that the plane, what we consider, or at which point we have to measure that the flux density, the plane, if it is perpendicular to the magnetic lines of force. If it is perpendicular to the magnetic lines of force, it means that what the red color arrow it is represent, which is nothing but the normal to the plane here. I say that normal of a plane. That time I say that angle between the magnetic lines of force to the normal of the plane is a 0. Is it right? It means that if we want to calculate the flux pass through that plane, then we can calculate like that, the phi, which is equal to BA cos theta, because it's a perpendicular component of a B, which is responsible to pass the flux here. And that component is a B cos theta. A is as it is. Actually our formula is B is equal to phi upon A. Is it right? We can also write it down, phi is equal to B into A. Then flux pass through the particular area, which is nothing but the perpendicular component of this field in density to the area of cross section is there. And that component is nothing but what? It's a B cos theta. That's why our formula for flux is BA cos theta is there. But now if you see that if the plane of the coil, if it is perpendicular to the magnetic lines of force, it means that the normal of the plane is parallel to the plane that magnetic lines of force, means that angle between them, it's a 0. So when I put that the cos theta is equal to 0, that time definitely the maximum flux can pass through the plane of the coil is there. And this phi b is nothing but the maximum flux. But if the plane of a coil is parallel to the magnetic lines of force, that time the normal of the plane is perpendicular to the magnetic lines of force is there. It means that that angle between normal of a plane to the magnetic lines of force is 90 degree. And we know that the cos 90, which is nothing but 0, that time we say that easily, if the plane of the coil is parallel to the magnetic lines of force, that time we say that the no flux will pass through that plane of the coil is there, because it is parallel. Get it, my point? So in this way, we can consider the flux density concept is there. Basically, you have to understand the definition. The flux density is the flux per unit area, which is right angle to that magnetic lines of force is there. That's why our formula for the B, which is equal to phi upon A, or you can also remember B is equal, phi is equal to B into A. That formula is there. Is it that clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now the next terminology बघा, आपण आता फक्त एक एक टर्म्स बघत चाललोय. These are nothing but only definitions. So I request all the students, please make once that lecture will be over, whenever the lecture will be over, just note it down what terminology we discuss in that in one particular lecture, and what the terminologies we discuss. So title, their notation, it's a definition, it's a unit or some formula, whatever it may be, you please note it down. Actually this is the first assignment question. पहिला असाइनमेंट क्वेश्चन काय असेल की आपण जेवढ्या डेफिनेशन्स बघणार आहोत या टॉपिक मधल्या, तेवढ्या डेफिनेशन म्हणजे तुमचा पहिला क्वेश्चन असेल. त्याच्यामध्ये सगळ्या डेफिनेशन्स येतील. जसं की आता मी सांगितलं की फील्ड फ्लक्स डेन्सिटी, मग ते कशाने डिनोट केलं जातं? बी ने डिनोट केलं जातं. त्याची डेफिनेशन काय, त्याचा फॉर्म्युला आहे का, तर तो काय आहे, त्याचं युनिट काय, हे सगळं त्या डेफिनेशन मध्ये आलं पाहिजे. इज इट राईट? नाउ the next concept is the magnetic field strength. It is also called as magnetic field intensity, or it is also called as a magnetic force, and it can be represented with the H. Now what is actually this magnetic field strength? बघा, आता तुम्हाला फोकस कशावरती करायचा आहे? पहिला आपण डेन्सिटी वरती केला होता, आता फोकस आपल्याला करायचा आहे स्ट्रेंथ वरती, म्हणजे कॅपॅसिटी. त्या फील्डची कॅपॅसिटी किती आहे? स्ट्रेंथ मीन्स व्हॉट? इट्स अ कॅपॅसिटी. मीन्स इफ आय कन्सिडर दॅट it's one magnetic field, this is a magnetic field represented with the magnetic lines of force. Suppose if I consider that one point which is near to the magnet, which is near to the magnet, and when I placed one small iron piece on that point, definitely the certain force is exerted. Is it right? If I consider that another one point, now see that another one point which is at a very small distance away from that bar magnet, and if I keep that the one small iron piece on that point, there also the some forces exist. And if I consider that third point which is away from that magnet, definitely, but it is in that magnetic region. Suppose if I consider that, or you just consider that third point is out of that magnetic region, definitely the no forces exist. What it indicates? It indicates that the strength of the magnetic field is very strong near to the magnet, and if we move away from that magnet, the strength is goes on decreasing. Do you agree with my point? ते तुम्ही एक्सपेरिमेंटली पण बघू शकता. एक्सपेरिमेंटली जर तुम्ही एक बार मॅग्नेट घेतला आणि त्याच्या जवळ जर एक आयर्न पीसचा नेला, तर यू विल ऑब्झर्व दॅट द लार्ज फोर्स इज एक्झर्ट ऑन दॅट आयर्न पीस, आणि तो आयर्न पीस थोडा 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 लांब नेत गेला तुम्ही, तर तो फोर्स वीक होत जाताना दिसेल तुम्हाला. And that is nothing but the strength of that field is there. Is it right? So based on that experiment, we can easily say that the magnetic field strength is very strong at near to the magnet, and it becomes weaker and weaker as we move away from that magnet is there. So how you can define that, the magnetic field strength? The force experienced by unit north pole placed at any point in that magnetic field is known as magnetic field strength at that point. मग आता या पहिल्या पॉइंट पाशी जर आपण एक पोल ठेवलेला आहे, एन पोल म्हणतोय मी, डेफिनेटली सर दिस एन पोल विल एक्सपिरियन्स अ फोर्स इट्स व्हेरी स्ट्रॉंग. If I place n pole here, then definitely the force exists on this n pole is quietly less than the force exists on that first red pole. Is it right? And if I consider that n pole at this point, definitely it will experience a very less force is there, or no force is there. It means that the force acting on any point in that magnetic region, it's different. The force acting on any point in the magnetic region is a different, and that is nothing but the magnetic field strength. That's why the definition is given like that. The force experienced by, experienced कोण घेतय एक्सपिरियन्स त्याचा, युनिट नॉर्थ पोल. हे एक आपण एक सॅम्पल घेतलेलं आहे, युनिट नॉर्थ पोल एक सॅम्पल घेतलेलं आहे, कारण तो किती फोर्स एक्सपिरियन्स करतोय, बेस्ड ऑन दॅट वी विल डिसाइड दॅट इट्स अ फील्ड स्ट्रेंथ. The force experienced by unit north pole placed at any point in the magnetic field is known as magnetic field strength at that point. मग आपण काय करूया, या पहिल्या पॉइंटला ए लेबल देऊया, दुसऱ्या पॉइंटला बी लेबल देऊया आणि तिसऱ्या पॉइंटला सी लेबल देऊया. So when we place that n pole at point A, which is very close to that magnet, so we say that the magnetic field strength is greater at point A is there. If I say that n pole is placed at point B, then we say that the magnetic field strength is quietly less than as compared to that point A is there. And if I say that the n pole is placed at point C, then definitely the magnetic field strength is very, very less at point C is there, because it is outside the magnetic region is there. Is it that clear? Yes or no? So this is about the magnetic field strength, which is denoted by that H, and that's why here I say that the strength is nothing but the capacity. That's why the another one name is nothing but the magnetic force. And this magnetic field strength, आता जर आपण बघा इथं एक प्लेन कन्सिडर केला. So if I consider this is a one plane having an area of cross section, area is 1 meter square, then if this plane is perpendicular to these magnetic lines of force, how many magnetic lines of force are passing that plane is called as a flux density. मग जर तो प्लेन आपण नियर टू द मॅग्नेट घेतला तर काय होईल फ्लक्स डेन्सिटी. कारण नियर टू द मॅग्नेट वी से that the magnetic lines of force are very strong in a large number. It means that the flux density at this point is a very high. And if I take the area plane which is away from that the magnet, then definitely the less number of magnetic lines of force are passing through that area. We say that the flux density is decreases. Similarly, as compared to that magnetic or similar to that magnetic field strength, जसं आपण मॅग्नेटिक फील्ड स्ट्रेंथच्या बाबतीमध्ये बोलतोय तसंच आपण फ्लक्स डेन्सिटीच्या बाबतीमध्ये सुद्धा सांगू शकतो की द फ्लक्स डेन्सिटी इज व्हेरी हाय ॲट द नियर टू द मॅग्नेट and it becomes weaker and weaker as we move away from that magnet is there. This is my point is there. Get it my point? So if you go to that here, if I once again if I consider that the magnetic field, if you consider that n pole of 1 Weber, so the force experienced by this n pole, that we call it's a magnetic field strength at that point. बरोबर आहे. मग आता मला सांगा की हा जो पॉइंट कन्सिडर केलेला आहे तो दुसऱ्या लाईन वरती कन्सिडर केलेला आहे. मग सपोज मी या ठिकाणी पुन्हा एक दुसरा पॉइंट घेतला आणि त्या ठिकाणी जर मी एन पोल ठेवला तर डेफिनेटली या दोन्हीही पॉइंट वरची मॅग्नेटिक फोर्स किंवा मॅग्नेटिक फील्ड स्ट्रेंथ हा सेम असणार आहे. Get it my point? But if I take it that another one line, and here I consider that a n pole, so definitely the force or the magnetic field strength here and the magnetic field strength here, it's different. These things I want to discuss with you. Is it that clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so consider that n pole of 1 Weber pole strength placed at any point in that magnetic field is known as a magnetic field strength. So that unit is, बघा unit कसं decide केलेलं आहे, the force acting on that point, that's why unit is Newton per Weber, but that SI unit is ampere per meter is there. So both the units you have to remember here. Okay, now the next term is magnetic permeability. The name itself gives that permission and ability. This permeability is the combination of two words. One is the permission and the second one is the ability. Before that, we discussed that the Coulomb's law. What that Coulomb's law is that if you consider that one bar magnet having a pole strength of m1, if I consider that another one bar magnet having a pole strength of m2, and if they are placed close to each other, then definitely certain force is exist. Is it right? And this force F is directly proportional to the product of their pole strength, is given by Charles Coulomb. And this force F is inversely proportional to the square of distance between their centers. Is it right? But have you noticed that the one thing, these two magnets are separated. They are not having the physical contact in between them. They are not touched to each other here. They are having that the little bit distance in between them, then also the force is exists. It means that this force is depends upon the surrounding medium also. Is it right? That's why we have written that the formula F is equal to K m1 m2 upon d square, where the K is the medium constant. And this K having its value 1 upon 4 pi mu 0 mu r. And this mu 0 mu r is nothing but mu. We call it a magnetic permeability. This is called as a medium constant, because this force is not only depends upon the pole strength of the both the magnet, not only depends upon its distance, but it is also depends upon the surrounding medium, in which medium these two magnets are placed, so that they will experience a force. So this force is depends upon that the medium also, and that medium is called as a permeability. Means exactly what? If the medium is, or if the medium will easily pass the magnetic lines of force, we say that the permeability is more. कारण फ्लो होणारा पार्ट कोणता आहे मॅग्नेटिक सर्किट मध्ये? मॅग्नेटिक लाइन्स ऑफ फोर्स इज देयर. इज इट राइट? Is if the medium can easily pass the magnetic lines of force, we say that the permeability is more. And if I say that the permeability means permission, जास्त परमिशन दिली गेली कशाला? मॅग्नेटिक लाइन्स ऑफ फोर्स. जर परमिशन जास्त असेल, म्हणजे ज्या ठिकाणी परमेबिलिटी जास्त, परमेबिलिटी व्हॅल्यू जास्त असेल, तर मॅक्सिमम फ्लक्स कॅन पास थ्रू इट. पण जर काही मटेरियल, इट विल नॉट गिव्ह the permission to the flow of magnetic flux, means I say that the permeability is very low, so that very minimum flux can pass through it. And based on that, the concept is there. Let's we try to discuss about the permeability concept is there. It is defined as the S with which the magnetic flux permeates the medium. Is it right? or you can also say that it is defined as the ability of a material to carry the flux lines. If the ability of material is more to carry the flux lines, it means that the permeability is more of that material. If some material will show that the less ability, it means that the less flux can flow through it. That we call it a permeability is less. Try to read it. If the material allows the flux lines to pass through it easily, the material is said to have high permeability. Just the permission दिलेली आहे त्या material. If the material does not allow the flux lines to pass through it easily, does not allow the flux lines to pass through it easily, the material is said to have the low permeability is there. It means that the permeability is the concept which is depends upon the medium, which is depends upon the material. बरोबर आहे. मग काही मीडियम फ्लक्स पास करायला परमिशन जास्त देतात, म्हणजे त्याची परमेबिलिटी जास्त असते. काही मटेरियल फ्लक्स पास होण्यासाठी परमिशन कमी देतात, म्हणजे त्याची परमेबिलिटी कमी असते. सिंपल थिंग इज दॅट वी कॉल इट अ magnetic permeability. So that you can define like that. It is defined as the ability of a material to carry the flux lines. This is, we call it a magnetic permeability, and it is denoted with the letter mu. This is the letter here. And this magnetic permeability, see that the materials like iron, steel have the high permeability. High permeability चा अर्थ काय होतो? They can easily pass the magnetic lines of force. Whereas the material like wood have a low permeability. It means that the wood will not permit the magnetic lines of force through it. So we call it, its permeability is very low. Simple thing is that. In other words, the magnetic permeability of a material can also be said to be magnetization capability. It's also called as a magnetization capability. This helps in determining how much of magnetic flux can the material support which will pass through it. Okay, and then the permeability having its three types. One is the permeability of a free space or vacuum or air medium. Second is the permeability of a medium, and third one is a relative permeability is there. So these three things we have to discuss. But today we stop here, and the concept of the permeability once again we will try to discuss in the next lecture is there. Okay.